All right.
He was just getting a drink or something. I'm not sure.
Probably. Hello, everybody. We're 3 minutes late. We apologize. Yeah. It is technically
it's Caleb's fault.
It is technically, air quotes, technically tax day here in the U.S., but it's being pushed since it's on a Saturday to Monday. So everybody out there here in 2023 who owes their taxes, get them done because you owe the government. Technically,
the government is never happy if you don't pay your taxes.
You owe. Eric has filed an extension because mine are a little complex. Anyway, so Monday, get them in postmarked. That's your service announcement here from Push to Talk for those in the Americas. Oh, there's a bug. I hate spring and summer because there's bugs, and if you leave the door open too long, you get bugs, right?
I mean,
little flying things around.
That's why I got particular nets over my windows so I can actually open them up and not have bugs flying.
I have that too. We have super micro nets that you don't even see them, right? They're called screens here, we call them. But the doors, right? We've got 4 doors.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We got 4 doors that can be opened at any given time, and we have lots of people going in and out.
Put a screen over the door then.
Mm-hmm. Then you gotta.
What could possibly go wrong?
You gotta. People do, right? You have screen doors on your door, right? Right. But you still gotta open the screen.
Yeah.
Steve,
and the other thing as well, right? Is that as much as the bugs can
wrap it
in,
I do.
It's a very good sign that your local area's ecosystem is not completely trashed yet.
Oh, don't get me on that.
True.
Don't get me on that. You'll start my Hilton Head, bitch. By the way, we'll visit that next. And Sodaman, yes, I don't like spring because it's rainy, muddy. That affects the golf. Summer is just fine without a tremendous amount of rain, right? I don't like fall because again, I don't like spring. Spring's my least favorite. Fall's my second least favorite, which means my third favorite, right? Because I do like where I live, the leaves change. We get all that in fall festival, all that bullshit. But I hate rain and mud, right? And I love winter because you know what? There is no bugs. They're all dead. Okay,
They're all dead or hibernating.
No bug rates here. Screw them. They all need to die. I know the birds eat them and all that crap, right? But I hate bugs. I do love winter, and Christmas and Thanksgiving are my holidays that I truly love. And I like sitting on the back deck looking at the pine trees covered in snow and sitting in the hot tub. I do like that. So yeah, I'm a big winter fan. It's just the way I am. My wife loves spring and summer. We're very opposite. But I do like going to the beach because there's enough breeze. There's really not too many bugs there. So yeah, but yes. So my Hilton Head rant. By the way, it is the Heritage Classic. That will soon be on the TV right there. I'll move my hand right there. Muted, of course, as the Heritage Classic is being played this week. It's a wonderful, wonderful event. And Hilton Head is a wonderful island. However, back in the 70s and the 60s and the 80s, you used to be able to go out into the ocean and pick up all the wildlife you wanted and take it home. Can't do that anymore. And, the things that feed on that are all coming back, which means we have a lot more stingrays and a lot more sharks sitting there on the shore. And everybody wonders why we have them, right? Stingrays.
I don't know.
So, yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if it's just me, but typically when you're disallowed to do certain things in America, typically it's because somebody has taken the piss out of it, taken it too far, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But my concern is that when you say you could take as much of the wildlife back with you as you can, I kind of feel like some people out there decided that people were included in that wildlife and abducted people.
No. Sometimes that might be. We really can't go there and say that's a good thing, but maybe. You never know. maybe we need a few less people in a few less areas. Right?
And also taking wildlife back with you reminds me very much of that video that Arendis linked us to watch last week.
It
of,
reminds me of that tweet of someone being like, "Hey, my cat doesn't like being bathed," and it's like a cougar in a bathtub.
Yeah.
Look, they're just big cats.
So one of the big things that
that
tourists,
type of cougar. Okay, that type of cougar.
Yes, that type of cougar.
Okay.
Like,
I thought you meant a different cougar.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of near beach type fish, smaller fish, and things that like to eat sand dollars in particular, and that was the big thing that tourists were just, and starfish were taking from the beach. I mean, literally, you could go out there waist deep at low tide because Hilton Head is very gradual, and it has, and it can have very low waves, right? So you could take hundreds of sand dollars each family in a week, and things, and so this really in the 70s and 80s reduced what was there for the other fish to eat, and there was a lot of shrimping in the area, which also disturbs that bed for the sand dollars and things like that, right? Since a lot of that's not happening anymore, a lot of that wildlife comes back, right? When it rebounds, right, that pendulum really swings because there's so much food source, right? So you'll be ankle deep, literally ankle deep in the water at times, and there will be, 2.5 foot stingrays flopping right at your feet, right? And when the stingrays come in, guess what really likes to eat stingrays? Sharks, right?
Yeah, but you're ankle deep.
I don't see where this is the problem.
Right. So you're ankle deep. How the fuck are the stingrays swimming? Never mind the sharks.
Oh, absolutely. They absolutely can swim in the ankle deep water.
Eating the stingrays, right? I mean, if they have a choice, stingray or human, I'm pretty sure a shark will go for a stingray.
Oh, absolutely. They love them. They love them. And so they're also coming very close to shore, right? So really, things that didn't used to happen on the same beaches, right? You didn't have that happen. Because going there for, well over 40 years, right? You see the evolution of what is happening there, right? So yeah, it really comes to the point where you really can't even get in the ocean. So why go to the ocean, right? That becomes the question.
If the stingrays are around and the sharks are around, you could probably go in the ocean without too much danger. But it's a pretty well documented phenomenon that realistically most shark attacks, especially of surfers, happen because from below, a surfer looks very much like another large swimming animal.
Let me rephrase it for you, Dirk. You're not allowed in the water if the lifeguards see a shark fin. They pull everybody out. So it's not that you can be or can't be or shouldn't be or the risk or whatever. But yeah, it's not like, hey, I'm here and there's 100 people around me and I'm the only one that sees a stingray, right? Or there's a shark around. There's 10 or 15 black tip sharks or the like, and there's hundreds of stingrays in the water to the point where you really can't be, and you do not want to be stung by a stingray. I've seen that happen many times, right? So yeah, it's come to the point down there where, the question is, it's becoming questionable. I mean, hey,
fair enough.
They live in the ocean, right? I get it.
But I mean, this also does remind me of a Randy Feltface sketch about the blue bit, and it basically the sketch is a couple minutes maybe about blue things, and water's not blue unless there's millions of tons of it. But the way he signs the sketch off is like, the land, the dry bit, that's your bit. The wet bit, that's its bit. If you go in its bit, you're gonna get bit.
I need to. I need.
And that just kind of like sums it up.
I'm not getting.
I will find a link for the. I will
Yeah.
find a link for this, but
I
yeah,
am.
Randy Feltface, the blue
You have to
bit.
find a way to work a
And-
Fitbit into there, Dirk.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the comedian.
So
but
what do we-
that whole story did really kind of just remind me of, well, if you go into its bit, you're gonna get bit.
the my understanding is we have a little ranting to do about Eve today or something like that.
I believe a couple of people have some ranting topics. to go
Ranting
on.
topics. I read that in the pre-read for the show that
Mm.
perhaps we had
Yeah, apparently
actual topics
Soth has some.
for the show.
Soth has
Yes.
some ranting to do.
Yes, I have
I
some
can't. I
ranting
can't
to do.
picture Soth ranting. So
Never, right?
Hey,
Uh,
you need
it-
some
it-
orange
It has
juice.
to,
You
it
need
has to
some
do with
more-
8.
No. He
It
needs to get
must-
some orange juice so he gets some more ranting energy.
It
Up
must
that
have
sugar.
something to do with either the Alliance tournament or
Ooh.
Thunderdome.
it does not.
Or-
have anything
or
to
his
do with
general
the
German-
AFC or Thunderdome.
Wow.
That sounds racist.
What the fuck is there to write about then?
Let
wait,
me tell you.
you're asking what the angry German can rant about?
I mean, to be fair, he's
Sistala is wrong.
He's always had that, angry German sort of tag, but like he's been much more chilled these days.
These days, you
I
know
mean-
that the name was meant as a joke, right?
I don't know. I wasn't in the FC circles when you were flying
Oh,
around,
I
herding cats.
I wasn't even an FC when I got that one.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
No,
I
it's
got- I
just
got
it's just that
back
he
in the
sounds
Tekken days.
angry all the time on comms. Like
Oh, that's
all
just
of the
Americans
laughing-
reacting to a German
No.
German
Like all
accent.
of the laughter and upbeat cheeriness that you hear here. Yeah, no. When he was coming
That's-
up, he did not sound like that.
Yeah,
See, that's
okay.
just a
That's the point.
that's just a function of FCing. Like you get in the chair and suddenly lots of people are being dumb and doing some sort of dumb shit, and
It's
it
not
just
like-
kind of gets you to a point where you're like, I'm done with this.
Look, it's like instead of like sitting in class, all of a sudden you are in the front in the teacher's seat, and you notice, man, I can actually see all the shit going on here, like in the entire class, right?
Yeah,
You start
because
representing-
it's typical that like when you're not in the driver's seat, you kind of think like, oh, everybody's got their shit together. This is so well organized, etc. And then when you're actually at the driver's seat, you're like, oh my god, this is barely functioning.
but it's a good perspective to get to try and actually teach in a class, because you really don't understand afterwards why do teachers actually not just shoot all these things.
I mean, that's a response you can have to children anywhere at any time. Like, why the fuck do we
God.
tolerate this shit? But let's not go down that tangent too far.
I don't want to go down that tangent because I had a thought in my head, and if I said it, it would be really bad.
This is already the third tangent in the line, so
I mean, this is the third tangent that we've had in like the space of 3 minutes. What is Push to Talk for, if not for this kind of conversation?
And Soth didn't even get a chance to actually get onto the
Actually-
topic he wanted to talk about.
Actually, to be fair, we
13 minutes into the show and we have rules here. Damn it!
yeah.
To be fair, we do need-
Come on.
to be fair, we do need to have like some kind of visual aid which is just like tangent o'clock. We're just like spinning fucking,
Oh, you're making me do more animations, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Definitely need a tangent
I never
o'clock.
should have mentioned that I can make them.
I mean,
so,
I can make them. It's it's a bit of a slog to do, but
Yeah.
For a bit of viewer context, we've been discussing a little bit of a show redesign in the last week or so, and Soth has decided he wants moving things, and so he's
I don't know how-
taking it
I don't know
upon
how-
himself.
I don't know how you feel about that, Eric, because like at the end of the day, it will be you activating and deactivating things.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, see,
Oh, right.
it's fine. Eric, it's fine. Eric's distracted.
It'll be fine.
We're gonna make decisions, and Eric will just live with them.
That happens. That's okay, right?
Okay, well that's good. He signed off on it. He signed off on it, so we're good.
No, I no,
That is a verbal acceptance of an
verbal
agreement.
acceptance of the agreement. Blah 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 blah.
We have a contract. Now it's. And there you go, Soft. Go have fun with your animations. Eric says it's fine.
Go forth and have fun. Oh.
Anyway, you were going to rant.
Tangent the clock.
I wasn't
Yes.
going to rant yet.
Aww.
He needs a bit of a build-up.
Yes.
Haven't missed the rant.
I need to get mad
Goddamn
enough.
good.
Yeah.
Hello, Bard.
Well,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
is it you want to rant about?
I want to rant about CCP making decisions and then telling no one about it.
Like what?
Is this
But
the
that-
same
that-
thing
that-
that Derek wants to rant about, or has Derek done his rant?
I think
Isn't
I'm
that-
not ranting about anything today yet.
Isn't that
like-
part of the course for CCP though? Sort of like that's
Yes,
normal.
yeah, like,
So why are you angry about them doing normal stuff?
What have they done
I'm
lately
not
that
surprised, okay?
no, just what have they done lately that falls into that category?
Uh, I guess you're pushing me to actually.
No,
start ranting.
I just want to understand so that we can all start pushing your buttons.
Okay. So this is about the 10th anniversary collector's edition,
Oh, okay.
which
That old thing.
yes,
That issue. I see.
which you might be aware comes with some physical goodies and it comes with some in-game goodies.
Uh-huh.
And it turns out, even if you own the collector's edition, even if you bought it last week on Amazon because someone found another copy in like somewhere lying around,
Cellar. They're all in Arendis' cellar.
yes,
Sure,
you
why
can't
not?
get the in-game items anymore. That was already the case for quite some time, but people who still had some legit CD keys for these were pointed at making a ticket and getting it that way. That is
So-
no longer possible.
So, what,
And the
have they
mystery code
removed?
doesn't work either now, right?
Have they removed the in-game items? Do the in-game items exist anymore?
I know the in-game items still exist. You just can't
So-
get them.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you also can't
So-
get the game time and the Plex or whatever it was that comes
Yeah,
with it, right?
exactly. Because the 10th anniversary edition was still the old Plex system, right? Before they
Yeah,
changed it to
right.
500 Plex for a month.
Right. But they can
You
just
get one
they could
plex.
just augment the they could just just do a single plex.
They
Like get
could.
fucked.
They could, but they don't want to.
Of course not.
It's-
So
they-
so
and they are
the
telling-
5 minutes
they are
of just
telling no one.
augmenting shit. They've just
See,
gone nah.
my problem isn't that they decided, hey, this is like a 10-year-old thing. Maybe it's time we stop supporting this. That's fine. That's a decision that CCP can make. But I personally think that people who pay money for this should be aware of that fact.
There should have been a
That's true.
statement of some sort.
Yes.
And
I've
if
checked,
anything,
the part of CCP's website that is about the collector's edition still states these in-game items that you do get them.
I mean, okay, common sense says you can't get the dust ones, right? But otherwise, there's nothing saying that you can't get the rest.
Yeah, so the context about this, just for anybody watching and listening to the conversation, the context about this is that a couple of friends of ours have recently had collector's edition stuff, and one of them went through a 3-week long support process to get their stuff, and was basically told, this is in effect the last collector's edition we're ever going to honor. And then another friend of ours, a couple days later, tried to put in a ticket for their collector's edition, which they were bought as a gift. You know, people knew they played EVE Online and they came across this collector's edition thing, and they went, hey, this would be a great gift to give. And that friend went to CCP support and basically got told, yeah, no, we don't do this we don't do this anymore. Okay, thanks, bye. And this all happened within the space of about, like, 3 or 4 days between one person finally getting their stuff sorted and the other person going to support and getting told, nah, you're shafted. Like, why bother? Like, it's a really bad experience for the one friend who got a gift and can't use it for a start, but also it's just that bit where, okay, CCP, you've made a decision, you have made a support decision, I get it, right? Sometimes the juice is not worth the squeeze on that front, but if the juice is not worth the squeeze anymore, say it somewhere.
Yeah.
Say it publicly, make sure that it is... I mean, as stuff says, right? There's a page for this thing that has the items. Just update the page.
Exactly. Just update the page and maybe like mention it in your next blog post that you updated the page and this.
Well, there's also some issues
attainable.
But there's also some issues with regard to, like, say, if you're purchasing, say, something like that on Amazon or whatever, and the product page, or maybe not you are, but like if somebody one of your relations is purchasing something for you, right? Like the example that was made, right? You have to at least update, the product listings on that, or get the product listings updated.
Was it purchased from CCP or resold?
I don't know.
The official listing is still up on Amazon, and it still lists all these items, and you can definitely change a listing on Amazon.
So there you go. Like, what needs to happen is CCP needs to sort of actually get, like, CCP sort of I don't know, sales staff need to actually get off their ass and actually, get those listings changed.
The CCP
and
sales
in the
staff
meantime,
needs to not be doing false advertising. Yeah.
Yeah, and in the meantime, up until those listings do get changed,
they need to honor the
original agreement. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I also need to add that it's not just Plex you get; you also get game time.
They do specify you get 60 days of game time plus Plex plus a few items like the golden pod.
You don't get that anymore though, Dirk, because that was the bit that was initially not honoured.
Yeah, because CCP made a decision and didn't tell anybody about it.
But I kind of feel like if in most Western countries you're within your statutory rights to be able to actually complain and get at least some degree of refund back.
Yeah,
but to be clear here, no one is asking for a refund. No one is asking to force CCP to get these items. All we are asking for is that they update their fucking shit to actually reflect what the situation is.
Yeah,
exactly.
And if they don't, then maybe the next person who tries to throw money at them will be asking for that through legal means that will generate a whole bunch of bad press.
Yeah, like, this is the thing, right? We're here talking about it on a talk show that we do most weeks of a year. And the reason we know about this topic, the reason we're talking about this topic is that we've had two friends who have had, two people we know pretty well, deal with this, ticketed functionality of the collector's edition.
You actually heard about this from the source, in effect.
Yeah, we've had this from a couple of people we know in the space of about the last week or so. The last month. If you take the 3 weeks that one guy took to get his stuff properly, it's been a month or so. But we got this from people we know, friends of ours who we talk to, we chat to most weeks. One of them had one experience. The other basically got told, "Go fuck yourself." And in politer words. But like, it's that huge differential in the way it's being treated,
Right.
without any sort of notice, that is really the fucking thing. Like, where there is no notice that this product is no longer going to be honored, and so, like, CCP, can you fix yourselves, please? I know this is a big ask, and it probably covers a lot of topics over the years, but basic communication that you're not going to honor a product that's 10 years old anymore is not an unreasonable ask.
Yeah,
especially not when you still got the listing up on Amazon.
And I think, like, this isn't like just, oh, there were some things changed in the game, and CCP hasn't told people about it, and
right,
we've
because
sort of found
that's already
like
covered.
that's just game kind of stuff, right? And that's
but,
fair enough. But like when you're actually talking about actual currency and people's cash and people, like, that sort of stuff, like, you need to be on your game, like on the ball for that stuff.
Right, and keep in mind that, like, stuff in the game changing, that's already covered because every frickin' product they sell includes the disclaimer of, online experiences may differ because development requires that. Like, that's been a thing for online game development since it started. You have that boilerplate disclaimer so that when you change things, people don't go, but that's not what you said I was getting. Where these Amazon listings apparently still say this is what you'll get. And so that is a thing that needs to be dealt with. But Soft, I have a really important question for you now.
Mm-hmm.
Since clearly, as we go back through that discussion, Dirk totally stole your rant. Would you like to rant about that?
So what I think is the worst part of it is that someone said yeah, but people talk to GMs and GMs maybe didn't forward it and shit. No, an actual CCP community dev was involved in this, so they are aware of this issue. Right.
I remember with the first person, I'm going to avoid names, but we get along, and he come to me and went, they're not really responding to the ticket. And I was like, poker community dev. Like, poker damn community dev, and that will
community devs were aware of this, so this is, at this point, this is Elise's problem.
No.
I was not going to name names of community devs, but that was my recommended person to speak to.
Elise, well, if Elise was made aware, I'm not sure. That's
I
not
don't
the name.
know. I'm not saying that that's who we went to. That was just my recommendation.
That's not the name that I heard in this whole chain of events.
I'm not.
Let me be clear here.
Right?
Let me be clear here. I am not saying that Elise was involved. I am not at all saying Elise was involved.
It's always fun to blame Elise. I get
exactly.
that.
Exactly. That's all that was.
That's all that was. Be able to help, right?
I mean, at least
if it's someone else and that hasn't helped, then yeah, whatever.
At least considering what Elise,
yeah. At least part of this is falls under what the community devs are supposed to do, which is updating the fucking page. Now, updating the listing on Amazon is probably not what falls under community devs.
Yeah, that's probably outside what they actually can do.
No, that's going to be marketing.
Sales and marketing. There'll be sales and marketing.
Yeah,
right.
But
at the very least, they could flag it.
But the thing is, like, what I'm thinking here is, like, considering what Elise used to do, I would say that like he would be somebody who would know very much like the severity of the issue.
Yeah, he'd be the guy he'd be the guy to go, hey, we should deal with this.
Yeah.
And the thing about it as well is, like, even if it takes you a while to get through the sales and marketing morass, which is what any sales and marketing department is, it's just a slow... they are slow departments by nature, it seems. That is no comment on any other thing other than generic sales and marketing stuff.
Well,
But-
Dirk, they are slow, but they do generally tend to pick up pace when legal basically lights a fire under their asses.
Well, that's
Can
true.
I ask a question
But what I was going to say
dedicated
is,
to?
even if the listing still exists, you could change the page about the product on the website, and if somebody buys it, you can point to the page on the website, say, "Yeah, we're not doing this anymore. Ask for a refund."
You can
Can I ask the obvious
change
question?
an Amazon listing. Like you can absolutely change an Amazon listing. It's actually something people
what I'm
abuse, right?
What I was trying to suggest there, Soft, is that like the person responsible for changing the Amazon listing is almost certainly not in the community team.
But
they've
are
changed the
you
website.
even considering that
And, like,
the knowledge of
yeah.
this has actually not reached anyone that can actually make any decision?
Well, that should have by now. Christ almighty.
Given that
I'm gonna jump in.
community members have been involved, I would hope that it's reached somebody at this point.
Look,
I doubt it.
I'm gonna do something which I usually don't, and be like a bit positive here, and just say maybe this was already kicked up the ladder, and it's just taking a week for them to respond to it.
Soft.
How
I
dare
do not
you,
believe
Soft?
so, because given that I've just gone through the Amazon listing for the US page, and I'm seeing the customer questions and answers, and someone said 60 days of paid game time. This might sound dumb, but can I activate this with an existing account? One of the answers squirreled away into there is there will not be any 60 days of paid game time awarded anymore. And this was by a player responding.
When?
Yeah, but have you checked the
2017.
Icelandic listings though, like the Icelandic
So-
Amazon site?
So
Alright,
this has
so-
been a situation since 2017 that they haven't updated anywhere or notified anyone
Okay,
of.
so
There is no Icelandic Amazon.
I
so-
know, that was the point.
this does actually, Bard's mentioning of this makes me think that actually there's a piece of context here that we haven't kind of discussed, which is from everything that we've managed to glean from CCP's various websites and the conversations that some of our friends have had with GMs. The reason that this went from an automatic process to submit a ticket and that they'll manually do it is that their process for processing CD keys broke. That the actual system that processed is the CD key valid broke.
Yes. This is a
They
10-year-old
fixed it.
collector's edition that actually had a CD in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
not really why there's a CD in it, to be honest. The key on there is actually printed on paper because it's not a physical thing. You're conflating the original
How
box
is this-
set with the 10 years
so-
edition.
So how is this not? How is this not just like a single sheet on a database that says
Because
is this valid? Is this
if
not?
the code that manages these keys are gone, like no longer part of the
No.
system.
They can still check if the code is valid. That still works. They still have that data.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
but
I used to validate codes for. I used to validate codes for TMC, like for fuck's sake, on other games. Like,
Yeah,
it's not hard. Yay!
Wait, what's returned? Oh,
Yeah, I actively
was
avoid
gone.
doing that.
Wait, we now have opt-in. My God.
Oh dear lord. We're sorry in advance.
I'm not.
So
But-
yeah.
But yeah,
What I was going to say was, if CCP actually goes in and fix this in like the next week or something, then we will be here next week being happy about CCP actually listening to feedback that is brought in a very bitchy and
Well, it's a considerable amount of value in there, right? That is no
yeah.
longer supported.
Yeah.
And I do think that is definitely making it a serious issue, and they should figure out how to resolve it in a way that their customers will accept. Because there's still a lot of these box sets out there available, because there was a lot of scalpers buying a lot of them. I remember seeing some pictures of people having like 50 in storage ready to sell. So,
which is
these-
funny because the original price was 150 euros, I believe, and it's now going for 50.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, but like, this is the thing.
Sage
For-
investment.
Mm-hmm.
I do product support on a day-to-day basis, and it's one of those things where if you say you have a thing and you change the way you're going to handle that thing, or you make a decision that you're discontinuing that thing, A, you have to honor everything up until the time that you publicly say you're done, and B, you need to make it very public that you're done, so that when support gets a question about it, support can just like point you to a web page, or here's a link about our documentation on this. We're sorry we can't honor this anymore, but here is the time that we made the decision, and there is nothing public yet. They just turned around and told one player that, hey, this is effectively the last time. I'm gonna find the fucking quote.
It's almost like they because they didn't even say it like straight up, but they just basically said we're not honoring it after this. But they didn't even say like, you know, please disseminate this to the community in any way, shape, or form. Like it was just like that's it. Like, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, if I remember the quote, it wasn't even a
right now.
"This will be the last." It was a "This will probably be one of the last."
Oh, okay.
Right.
So
it's like
non-committal in that regard.
Here we go. Typically, the Plex and Omega are not granted due to them coming from CD keys, which have long since been discontinued. However, in this case, I have made a special one-time exception to grant these bonuses to your account as well. Does this mean if in the future I buy another copy of the E49 Second Decade Collector's Edition, the Plex and Omega times it's supposed to include will not be honored? Collector's editions will no longer be able to be redeemed nor assisted with in the future. In essence, yours was technically the last collector's editions we were able to assist with before the service went offline indefinitely. This means future collector's editions will not be able to be honored.
Like this
The
was
servers. What? What's like? Do you require actual servers to run?
No.
Last I checked, they were using a spreadsheet.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Service, not
Okay, yeah.
servers.
All right.
Yeah, that's how
I have heard that they are spreadsheeting it. Yes,
but yeah,
That is a simple solution when you've lost the back-end code to just generate all the keys that you know are in existence on those things, right? And then just have it on spreadsheet. So that makes perfect sense. Sorry.
But yeah. No. They deprecated that at some time in the past. They are now discontinuing
Eric, you're
that. Eric's muted. In what a shock to the viewers, Erik is muted.
And we have no idea why. Just no freaking.
We still can't figure it out.
You know what? I'm gonna blame a conspiracy of Soth and Caleb to mute me. I think that's happening all the time.
Wow.
They are somehow hacked into my PC, interacting with applications on my PC and clicking that goddamn button in a ghostly way. They are.
Right.
Sure, why not?
to drive the actual point home though, the only thing we are asking for is that CCP actually announce this shit, right?
Yeah.
That they
Publicize it.
change their
I have
page,
no issue
that they
with
change
them.
their listings, and actually tell people, hey, these boni are no longer available. That's all we're asking for. We're not asking you to like make a
Keep
new
honoring
system so people can do it. All we're asking is that you announce that it's no longer available.
Like this again, this comes back to the fact that we learned about this. The reason we're talking about it here is because people we know, people we talk to on a fairly regular basis, have dealt with both sides of this coin in the past, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we only knew that this was completely discontinued when we got the quote from the support ticket saying, this means future collector's editions will not be able to be honored. You can't say that to somebody in a support ticket. Have that be a decision that you make on a level in your company of what you're going to support and what you're going to not support. And not say it publicly somewhere, please.
Let's put it this way: you should
recognize
never
that
say
you need to fix yourself.
You should never
I
say
think
what is
it's fair
supported
to-
or not as policy and company policy in a support ticket. That just shouldn't happen.
I think, yes, it's fair that it's discontinued because we are now at the third decade, right? We've done 10 years, fine, take it out because it's the end of the second decade. It makes all the logical sense to discontinue it. But just tell people. So that they're not buying this, expecting to get the rewards.
Yeah. And I personally would say, if you make this decision, you should give people a bracing period, right? Give people
you get
the
that
last
would be
chance
preferable.
to actually get this stuff.
You mean
if they want to
publish a schedule of when things are no longer available, like perhaps version 10-year pack, as
what this reminds me of?
30th, 2023 will no longer be supported, so get your shit out of Hawk now, right?
You know what this reminds me of, Eric?
What?
This kind of reminds me of when we used to do sort of a server moderation on was it Just Survive?
Mm-hmm.
And when we publicly kind of said, if you are caught doing this particular glitch, you will be banned. But we'd always have a grace period between when we actually, when we announced it and when we actually started cracking down on it.
I should say this hand because it looks better to the viewers. But yes, absolutely. I mean that's what you do. I mean, look at what companies do with software support all the time, right? There is an obsolescence of versioning, right? You can't support version 1 when you're on version 20 indefinitely.
Yeah.
Right.
But they also make the public announcement of Windows 7 will no longer be supported after blah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The thing,
and by the way, sometimes those announcements don't get shortened, right? You don't say, "Hey, in the next 12 months," and then suddenly make an announcement later 6 months, right? You'll make an announcement next 12 months, and as maybe you're getting into the 9th month, you might say, "You know what? We're going to extend support for another 3 months or 6 months or a year on that particular thing," right? I mean, I'm involved in this every day, right?
Yeah.
It's part of what I do, right? What's your obsolescence? What are you doing? Are you on the right version, right? And by the way, when you're in a corporate setting, quite often, your internal security team will actually say to you, right? Internally in the company, we are only going to support and allow you to be on version -1, right? So if you're on version 23, hey, guess what? Or -2, let's say, is generally what it is, right? Internally, you have to be on 19, 20, or 21, right? Or something like that, right? They internally, companies are really clamping down on that, right? You can't be running
policy of these are the versions that are supported.
Yeah.
These are the versions that are deprecated but still available. And if it's not on either of those lists, it's not a thing. But CCP could very easily turn around and say, okay, hey, we are struggling to support this old product at this point.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna discontinue support for it. And like you say, you set a date for that, right? Even if it's 30 days from the point of announcement.
Whatever.
There's a perfect date that's coming up.
The 20th anniversary
Yeah,
which
you
is
either
like
pick the 6th of May
the 6th
or the
of May.
or you pick the 23rd of May, which then gives you just over a month because that was the EU release.
Yeah, but
23rd of May, you got a month.
But this
If
is
you want to claim it now.
But this
Well,
is the thing.
this
You
comes
have to turn
down,
around and say that
right?
support will be able to turn around and say, okay, hey, these are the items. I've given you the items because you have a valid CD key, and you have until X period to redeem any other copies of this you may have. But like, they're not doing that. They
haven't grown up
literally-
yet, right? Remember, I said haven't grown up yet as a company.
This babby 20-year-old company has not grown up yet. 23-year-old company has not grown up yet. Really? No, they're just fucking broken.
No, they're not. They're a 20-year-old company, and some of their practices, very clearly, right, are not mature.
Are not mature to that
They
age.
have immature processes. I mean, that's
They're
just
a
what we say.
23-year-old company run by a crypto bro who thinks he's still 23.
Can someone
Who,
sound
Who, by the
that
way,
one?
is respectfully
Oh, that
invited to
should be a
come on the
clip.
show at any time.
that's a clip.
Right?
Clip.
But
Clip
yeah,
that one.
it truly is, right? It you know, I mean, it's just true, right? These are fundamental things that you think when you're de-supporting certain things within your company that you announce in a normal announcement way and you handle, right? It just looks like somebody said, holy shit, we're still supporting this 20 years later. Why the hell are we doing this?
Right.
And who has
with the timing?
who has the spreadsheet, right? Who's got the spreadsheet this week, right? I mean, I understand why that frustration might be there, but then again, that is where, either the sport or the sport manager should have said, okay, we need to take this internally and deal with it internally and announce it in the correct way versus just tell some chap in a support ticket.
But you can't, like, stop supporting that until it's said publicly that you're not supporting that. Because that's just otherwise a dick move. And just to Arendis's point in our lovely, lovely back-end team chat, this is entirely working as intended. I think a couple months ago, I was on the show and I was quite quiet. But
I would
just
rather
tired.
make the point, Dirk.
And Mac said, where was Dirk's rant today? Because apparently this is what I bring to the show. And so it is entirely working as intended.
I agree, but I would rather make the point that you can't stop supporting it without making the public statement while you still have public-facing commitments to support it. You have to change those because you are making that commitment.
Especially because of the nature of the product, right? When you put something in the title of your product, collector's edition, then it's different than, say, what Erik was pointing out with an old product. It's not just an old product. It's a product that is supposed to be a collector's edition that you've just devalued the content of.
Right, especially since, collector's items are supposed to appreciate over time.
Exactly.
You in that, by the way, certainly super valid argument, right? On what that is, right? And that is why it shouldn't go out, if I interpret this conversation correctly, from some support guy on a support ticket, right? This is where, hey, I need to escalate, the challenge this is creating in my job to my manager. That manager should take it upwards. And then from a corporate perspective, take a view of it and say, okay, here's how we're going to deal with it. By the way, support folks, I understand this is a challenge for you. This is the processes we're going to put around this because this is a collector's thing. We want to keep it around. So here's what we're going to do from a company-wide perspective to make your job.
To be fair,
doesn't matter.
It was elevated to a community dev, not a regular support staff guy.
Yeah.
but it was elevated to community dev by the person looking to get this stuff, not by the GM.
Right, but
Right.
either way, you're still in the overall corporate hierarchy. You're still talking about what essentially comes down to legal and marketing decisions being placed on low-level functionaries. And that is not fair to them. This shit needs to come down from on high.
We don't know if the community dev went higher up. We don't know that. Okay. The only thing we know is that they didn't tell anything about it in the end.
No. See, here's what we do know. Okay, we know that if this community dev didn't go higher up, then he had reason to not think there was any point to. And if he did, then he was pretty much,
or she, whoever,
he or she was left pretty much
holding the bag.
Holding the bag here because, there was no statement from anyone with a broader purview or, executive authority to actually make statements like this that was made anywhere that the public could see it.
Yeah, this is the thing that we've been talking about.
I don't think there are any female community devs at this point.
Hey, I don't know, so I include everyone. Right?
Yeah, that's a tangent that we're not going to go down. But
neither here nor there, right?
Look,
but here we are. Like this is again just to reiterate the point for anybody listening. We're not talking about the decision that was made regarding this product. We're not saying that, hey, you should continue to support this 10-year-old CD key related product that somebody said earlier on. How the fuck are people still using CD keys in 2023? But
by the way, I'm going to step away for a bit.
What we are talking about is the way it was handled and the fact that the announcement that you were gonna discontinue this, the CCP were going to discontinue this product, came to a single customer in a support ticket response and was not a public thing. Hell, you know what? You like Twitter so much. EVE Online is a sort of game that has decided that Twitter status updates are the best thing in the world.
No.
Just fucking post it on Twitter, even.
No, Dirk.
Just say something publicly. Jesus.
Dirk. There was no statement made about the fact that CCP was going to discontinue this. This was a one-time exception because CCP had already discontinued this.
As I have mentioned a couple times along the course of this conversation in the last week, I don't know how many one-time exceptions I've had from CCP support staff, but it is more than one.
That doesn't matter. The statement that was made was that CCP had already discontinued this, and nobody'd been told.
Yep, he's correct there.
I mean, hell, at this point, I'm finding comments from nearly 6 years ago of lone people being told, but no public stuff, right?
Right.
So it's like they've sprinkled bits in here and there.
No marketing
we aren't going to give the 60 days. Right. We aren't going to give the 60 days. We aren't going to give the items, whatever. But through the process, at no point have they changed anything in 6 years. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, this just begs a legal dispute, to be completely honest.
Right. That's the big thing that CCP should be wary of here, is that it's inviting a problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And that just gets ugly and expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, but, the risk of a 1,000-year rainstorm in Fort Lauderdale is also pretty low. I'm sorry. 88 billion gallons of water? Yeah.
Eric's
Gallons of
apparently
water.
muted again.
By the way, so 88 billion gallons of water and flood.
Eric was intentionally muted to the stream, but we could all hear him.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But
I
yeah,
just
Eric.
I
By the way,
I
you know,
basically what you said.
I gotta put golf on TV here, up here, you know, muted. But I went out to get coffee, right? Because I'm yawning, and I muted myself and turned it off. But when I came back, I turned the camera back on, but I didn't unmute myself. So that's two, right? Two of how many we're allowed to have. I don't know.
Two absolutely
By the way,
classic push-to-talk technical errors.
You know, my wife and her family, they're black coffee drinkers. I drink cream in my coffee. And when I went and got this coffee, I just like dumped the creamer in. So I'm having, a little
coffee with your cream?
coffee flavored milk right now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but yeah, the issue isn't that it's highly likely. It's that it's potentially low incidence, high impact.
In the fact that we're here talking about it on a talk show on a Saturday afternoon because they fucked it up.
All I would really like to know is, if I go out and try and buy all these things and I talk the actual sellers down because of this change, so I can maybe get these boxes at, I don't know, $20 a pop. Can I then refund them to CCP and get the $120 or $150 worth refund?
No, but you could probably go to FanFest this year and sell the USB hub rifters for more than $120, despite the fact that they were actually pretty crappy USB hubs.
I have one of those packaged in box that I got at a London Eve meet in was it February, Mac?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where I got it from CCP Confirmed for a thing. I arrived late. CCP Confirmed posted on Twitter that this thing was up for grabs if you did X thing.
And it wasn't exactly
11
difficult.
a.m. It was shake his hand and say certain words.
Yeah, basically.
And we got there, and I've known CCP Confirmed for a while, so we got to chatting, and he said, nobody's picked this up. I posted on Twitter, nobody's picked this up. And so I went, looked at Twitter, did the thing, got the USB Rifter hub, and it's still packaged, plastic wrapped in box. It's
good.
Pristine.
That's the best. That's the best way to use it.
But
really
it's that bit where these items are still kind of collector's editions. I haven't broken it out of the box and put it on a shelf somewhere or anything.
No, keep it. Well, does the box actually show a picture of it, or is it just a brown box?
No, it's a white box.
Okay.
But it's a plain box with plastic wrap, but you know what's in it.
Okay.
But yeah, these products are what we consider to be collector's items. I mean, hell, this April Fool's just gone. I bought a spool of hexagonal 3D printer filament that will not work in any 3D printer that exists currently.
Jack, I'm not going to tell you about that.
But
it works.
Oh, right, well. Anyway, I bought it as a collector's item. Because, hey, down the line, I'm going to turn around and say, hey, Prusa did this thing one year, and I could sell it on eBay for more than I bought it for. Great. If you're gonna turn around and say this collector's item is not a collector's item anymore, you do at least have to, give some warning. And this has been the point this entire discussion. But we had 2 incidences of this collector's item being raised to CCP support in the last few weeks. I'm reiterating this because it's important. We had And also Render said like this is a potential low value, high impact like decision to make. 2 incidences in 2 weeks.
And that's just in our friend circle, right?
In our
So
in our
imagine
friend group.
how many people there actually are that are affected
We've
by
been-
this.
And we've been talking about this for nearly 50 minutes because CCP done fucked up.
Well, let's be fair here. We've been talking about this for nearly 50 minutes because, you know, we let you get wound up and just go. Right. Sure.
That was a mysterious view. Okay,
Eric is
what I
right.
said
That's not
was
necessarily a bad thing.
letting Gert get all wound up and go off on something is not necessarily a bad thing. It's kind of fun, right? But yes,
Of course.
I mean,
yeah. By the way, it's so bizarre. I can't explain that one, but you know,
have fun. You have fun. Apparently, me getting wound up and ranting is a product of the show, and
it's
Yeah.
a fun.
like what 120
It's a-
odd viewers at the minute.
It's
Hey, you
it's
keep
a
coming
it's a
back, so you
software
must enjoy it
feature.
too.
It's a feature of the show.
I think it's even in the mission statement.
But yeah, so
So we definitely need we definitely need a rant alert kind of like, you know, flashing kind of visual aid. There you go, Soth.
yeah, have some fun, spend some time.
Did you like Soth? You know, whatever Soth wants, Soth gets. Did you see that? See that basically over there?
Yeah.
Go check INN chat. By the way, I fucking hate the bricks. Okay, just that. I'm done. All right.
All right, that's a conversation for later. Again, we're talking a lot about redesign, and some bricks were involved. Nobody is saying that they were being thrown through windows, but they may possibly.
I mean, if
Hey,
they
they-
were,
they-
windows.
if they were
I
full-motion
fully
bricks
understand.
where the Kool-Aid dude runs through them, okay, maybe I'm on board. Okay,
Yeah,
but
no,
no.
They were
I'm
large
gonna
gold
stop you there.
bricks.
Like,
They were
I
large
said
gold
I
bricks
can
with lemon
do
slices
some
wrapped around them.
accents as animations. I didn't say anything about like
No. The
making
statement of
a
work
fucking-
was unclear. You can do whatever you want.
I didn't
Yeah.
say anything about making half a Marvel movie
This
for
is,
you.
this,
Okay?
is, this is the animation sort of job equivalent of
Go
Um,
read it again,
oh.
guys. It said basically
This is the animation-
whatever Soth wants, and you know how much does it cost to get it.
So
That's in
this is the animation job equivalent of Dawn basically saying, "Oh, I'm going to be a director," and us going, "Of what?" And she basically coming and saying, oh, well, "I'm not sure yet."
I'm a director of whatever they tell me I'm a director of.
Yeah,
Well-
it's like rip.
I think we settled on director of blank.
Yeah. Also, I do like Commander Starscream's comment in Twitch chat. Apparently, it was a light rant. It wasn't graph level, and that's true. I did have a light rant today. It was not. I
Was that a Bud Light
better
rant
rant.
or just a light rant? I mean, what is it?
No, just
Help me out.
just a
Don't
light
touch that
rant.
one,
Like,
Eric.
it was a casual rant compared to some of
Casual.
the stuff that I've
Casual rant.
I've
To be
gone
to be-
off on
We
one on
need
this
a
show
big
before.
flashing thing. Casual rant.
To be fair,
In
a
process.
full fat graph rant actually breaks Twitch's terms of service a few times. So
Yes.
I like it. I like it.
So does Dirks if you have a UK translation filter on it.
if you insert various obscenities that I am not saying live on Twitch, yeah, it probably would break the terms of service.
By the way,
Okay.
guys, I love all the input from you guys on the internal branding stuff. So thank you. It's fantastic.
hey, no worries.
It turns out when we turn up for the show for like 100 hours a year or whatever the fuck it turns out to be, there's some level of investment.
Meh.
But again,
I said some level, alright. I didn't say there was a lot of investment, just some level of investment.
Of course, I was a little harsh when I said most of what I see here isn't cool. I like Soth's comments. Soth, I just opened the entire push to talk budget to whatever you want. So just point that out.
We have a budget now? When did that happen?
And make some shit up. It's not like we get any money. I mean, we don't get
So
any money.
I have the entire budget of
You have
nothing.
the entire budget of all our revenue for the last 3 years, right? So,
Wow.
And
So-
with that,
no.
you can buy yourself a 6-pack of Bud Light, or
As long as you pay for it.
half a can of its conservative replacement.
What is that? What is it? Hold on. Isn't it like $20 a 6-pack for the replacement?
No, it's even more, isn't it?
It's even more. It's like 6 times as much.
36, I
No,
think it
it's-
was.
It's
insane.
no, it's $19.99 a 6-pack.
Oh,
So
what a cheap offer! A 6-pack for.
Well, that's about what a 6-pack is
$19.99.
when you go to a bar here in the Social Republic of Pennsylvania. But yeah, because we can't. Let me set it here. We have
I mean, it's just
beer
relabeled
distributors,
Bud Light,
which are
right?
sanctioned by the state, and we have state-controlled liquor stores. The state of Pennsylvania is the largest purchaser of liquor in the United States. Okay, so we have those two things. But when you go to
Because they
a
need
beer distributor, hold on. When you go to a beer distributor, if you only would like to buy 1 or 2 6-packs, you're not allowed to do that. You must buy a case, 24 cans minimum, or 30 of beer. Can't buy a 6-pack or 2.
So, Eric, you're in one of those, what are they called? Moist states?
We're not allowed to say the word moist due to a good friend of mine,
Isn't
Julie.
That's the actual definition, I believe.
I don't.
pretty sure
What
it's
is a
called a
moist?
moist-
What is a moist state?
Moist.
I don't know. We
Moist.
should ask Dawn.
I mean, that sounds more like. I mean, Arendis, correct me if I'm wrong. That sounds more like
God, do we have
Mississippi,
to?
right? Pretty much everything's moist in Mississippi all the time.
Or Florida.
Right.
No, that's
Then
a
just help me
humid
out. It's
state.
an actual term for the difference between the middle ground between
I'm
a dry
reasonably
state and a
sure
wet
Eric
state.
actually understands the difference between that and a dry state, Caleb.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he knew that it's like that middle classification thing. He might
No,
not
it's
know.
not middle. We're wet. We have all the alcohol we can possibly want. Remember, we are the #1 purchaser of alcohol in the United States.
Their state buys it.
Yes.
Like it's government provided.
I just love the term. I really love the term.
Well, that's
A
why
moist
we
state
wait
is
for
just really
Dawn to
nice.
be here.
There are.
Moist.
Yeah.
If-
I mean,
if
I
there-
love when I go to South Carolina. There aren't 8 million taxes on all the alcohol, and I buy whatever I want, and I can go into the grocery store and I can buy wine and I can buy beer. That is very limited in our state. There's just a few grocery stores with just a very limited area, man. You have entire rows of coolers in South Carolina that's just beer, right?
Right, so
Yeah.
First
I love
up,
that.
Eric's state may be a very wet state, but they still don't know what a proper pint is. Just that's the first point.
No.
Well,
we
well,
completely understand.
technically, depending on how wet it is, if you drink half a pint, it might fill itself back up again.
Let's just be clear here, Dirk. We do understand what a proper pint is. You guys changed the pint.
Well, those.
Yeah.
I'm not
Apple.
sure we can handle that sort of controversy.
Not another one of these.
Yes, another one of these. Please
Oh,
go on.
I'm just making the point here, Dirk, that the British changed the pint after the 1770s. So it's not our fault.
I mean, you guys didn't change the size of your pints till Prohibition, as I understand it. So
Well, the size of
That's
a
on
pint
you
in
anyway.
Prohibition was
Well-
0 because you couldn't get a pint.
speakeasies. But also, the other thing is, if there's a state where the government is providing alcohol, That's a state I want to go on holiday to.
Well, they're not providing it for free.
No. They put an extra heavy tax on it.
Oh, fuck that then.
So you go buy a bottle.
So like Norway.
Okay. So I go across the border to Ohio and I get gas, and they have like 45 cents less per gallon tax on gas. Guess what? Gas is 45 cents cheaper across the border. Right? So.
Right.
So yeah, so we have a fairly heavy. In fact, it is illegal in the state of Pennsylvania. Last I checked, okay, which was not long ago. So if I go and I order a case of wine from a winery in California, technically that is supposed to get shipped to my local, they call them state stores, state store, okay? And in order to get that case of wine out of hock, they take the value, add the Pennsylvania tax, and charge me the Pennsylvania tax, even though I already paid for the wine to be shipped here. Right? So that's technically how it's supposed to work. Technically.
So you get charged twice.
Not twice, but there's an additional tax put on it.
All right, so to circle back, because I am aware that we have other topics to talk about. Other than...
I love that, dudes. Well, when there's not a lot to talk about in Eve, we have done a bunch of Eve talk earlier. You know,
this is circling back to Eve because we have
okay.
A question
circle
from
back to
Twitch
Eve. Let's go.
This is a question from Twitch chat from Ranchellian. Are there not going to be any special in-game events this year? And I think the answer to that question, for a start, is maybe, possibly, who knows? They didn't do a Valentine's event that I remember. They haven't done a couple of other events that would typically happen during the calendar this year. Apparently, they've been working on a thing for the nullsec. Sorry, not nullsec. For the faction warfare update that's coming soon, the shipcasters and that whole thing. But I think this actually comes back to a segue into a topic Rendis is going to love, which is, for the 20th anniversary, what they've done is they've introduced a new launcher.
How presumptuous of you that he would have any kind of,
Rendis,
view or opinion on that.
How are you enjoying the new launcher?
New launcher?
Yeah, the new Eve launcher.
What new Eve launcher?
Well, the new Eve launcher.
You know, the one you fought with for a while this week.
I'm confused.
Right, Dirk, he may have, he may
Are
have
you referring
scrubbed
to the
that
piece
from
of
his
beta
memory.
software that, I attempted to use from CCP? Engaged with the UI in that beta software from CCP, and immediately basically had to wipe and rebuild my machine?
Yes, that one.
That may be the thing I'm referring to, yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that something that happens on almost
I don't
like
know if
every
I can
5
call that a
years?
launcher. More like an exploder. So yeah, I tried the beta launcher, and because the beta launcher will re-download all 30 gigabytes of the game, I told it, okay, well, let's move where the game files are. It's got a specific button in the settings that lets you do this. This is not something where you have to go fiddling with anything. You click the thing and then you tell it where you want it to install. Just like, any other what's your destination folder here thing. And as soon as it started, it began spawning what the task manager identified as Windows Consent Administration UI elements. Basically, the Windows Defender pop-up that says, "Do you want this software to make an alteration to your machine?"
It probably did it for each individual file.
And let me guess, you remembered the patch where they...
That's my assumption, Max, since I closed at least 300 of them.
Jesus Christ, man. Oh,
300.
God.
At least 300, where clicking one would spawn 5 more.
Oh my god.
Oh, fuck.
But wait, there's more.
Of course there is.
I
But
finally
wait.
got to the point where everything was done and it said ready to play on the launcher. This moment came well before it stopped spawning those UI elements.
Well, that's
Because
concerning.
it didn't
Woohoo!
stop spawning those UI elements. Not until I uninstalled the game completely.
Mm.
Which, to be fair, at that particular point in time, you were kind of forced to do. Just to get
That's
some
okay.
semblance of...
But wait,
Yeah.
there's more. It also, and I know this because I attempted to play before I uninstalled, I figured, okay, let me just make sure that everything's working, and then I'll restart and see if that stops it. It also lost all of my UI settings. Completely gone.
Awesome.
Like, I know
That's
where they're
annoying.
supposed to be stored.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? They are supposed to be stored someplace. The fact that I changed drives meant that the old folder should not have been touched because the folder points to these files on this drive. It's a complete subfolder specifically for the files you have on that drive. So telling it to go to a different drive means that it just needs to create that folder and copy stuff. Okay? At the worst, it needs to just move the stuff. I checked the old folder, they're not there. I checked the new folder, they're not there. So the settings are completely gone. Now, I was on the Evo forums while all this was going on, in the feedback thread, and CCP's team did in fact pay attention to what was going on. They asked me to put in a bug report through the launcher, because there is a bug report system built into the new launcher.
You mean the launcher that's unusable because it's spamming you with pop-ups?
But I did manage to put in a bug report through that. It just took a whole lot of extra clicks. But I put the bug report in, and I was contacted externally through Discord by CCP Stroopwafel a little bit later, asking if I had the...
Yeah, it's his real CCP name.
Yeah.
He's a pretty decent guy too. Asking
Yeah,
me
Stroopwafel
if
is
I
cool.
knew, asking me if I remembered the ticket number it had given me, which I didn't. So it is something that they are trying to follow up on. They are trying to work on this. UI settings have been lost by other people. There were a couple of people in the thread who reported that when they uninstalled everything and reinstalled everything, their UI settings came back, which makes even less sense.
That's really confusing.
We do have somebody in Twitch chat even who has the same issue of that their settings are on a different drive. The new client does nothing, and apparently it's been a pain in the ass for them.
Right, and
Yeah.
and what they did when they got those things back is they used the old launcher after reinstalling, which is why I'm thinking that their files simply were not deleted in the old folder.
Mm.
So, if you're using the old, if you installed the beta, the beta launcher and your settings have gone away, reinstall the standard normal launcher for Eve on its normal download and see if your settings come back. If they do, great, you still have your settings. At some point, I have to go through all of my clients and rebuild all of my settings. All of my different chat windows, all of my overviews, because I used a custom overview set. I did not just, use
Wait,
the
you're
Sarashawas.
You're not still using Sarashawas?
No.
Who
I was
who
using
doesn't
Sarashawas.
build their own overview at this point?
Right. I mean,
I can't be asked. I use Sarasharas and my alliance's kind of like custom one is basically based
Well,
off.
that's like
fortunately,
check. Sarah Showers
I
doesn't
think I
work
can
with the
recover.
new.
I think I can recover an older
okay.
version of my overview settings from any of the Imperium Logi channels, but it's still going to be annoying as hell.
but yeah, no,
So
like
yeah,
those
it's been an experience. But yeah,
experience.
I had to uninstall everything in order to get that to stop doing that. I just, on the off chance that it wasn't the beta launcher, I ran at least 3 different anti-malware scanners, which all came back going, no, nothing here. I would not have been surprised if one of them had said, by the way, you've got like 15 extra copies of boot.ini here.
Do you want to remove them?
I mean, because it really, it really felt like I should have been expecting all of my files to have been replaced by boot.ini with a little note that says, "Here, we undid it. Are you happy now, bitches?"
Yeah, they are not removing boot.ini, they're inserting extra copies for some reason.
But yeah, so it's been fun. But like I said, CCP's guys have been on this. They've been looking at it like as of the day it happened. They were already investigating. I have absolutely no idea why it did this in my case. I'm the only one that I know of that actually got all the damned pop-ups. Because it was apparently the reason that it did this individually like that, Mac, from the dialogue that Windows itself was giving me, is that every file is copied in a separate Windows command line instance.
Have you been rude to any specific CCPer lately, Arendis?
No more than usual.
But maybe someone that might not be used to your usual.
Probably not.
Well, it feels targeted, right? If you're the only one that's got this,
it
must be intentional.
I gotta ask.
It feels like an utter fluke, but
Is this new UI actually being built in-house? Because we know
the new launcher?
the new launcher, yeah. Because we know the old one wasn't built in-house.
As far as I'm aware, it was built in-house, yes. The new launcher... the new launcher is set up to give you more direct options. Like you can see which character you're set to log into. It will skip the character select screen entirely by default. You just, when you go to start it up, you click on which account you want to start, select a character, and then just hit play now, and it goes. Groups are already in. There's the news feed is in on the left. The carousel is above that. Account settings, clone state, those are all accessible. The access to your Plex Vault from the launcher itself is coming soon. There is a notifications and offers tab that is still coming soon. So it looks like this is actually designed for a whole lot of future proofing against things that they want to be able to add and want to be able to do. And okay, I mean, it's early at beta, so they're still listening to player feedback on this thing.
I mean,
Hopefully
they
listen to this more than they did on Photon.
No comment.
This is kind of why you never opt into the CCP betas unless you're really excited about a feature, because
I mean,
otherwise,
curiosity really, but yeah, it
I've been burned too many times on
it's
that
got
front.
potential, I guess. I mean,
Look,
Given
like,
the hidden windows, yeah, I can see that they've got potential there. Splitting the characters down to loadable individually, I'm inclined to say maybe they're going to do away with 3 characters per account and just whatever, right?
Maybe
like
they'll
they'd
finally
increase
break
the
it.
number. I don't know about
because
that.
that'll go well.
I do know that from statements that were made in the feedback thread, there apparently was some discussion with the CSM about the defaulting to skipping character select, and it was decided, something was said about this being faster for login traps. So fucking hell.
Ugh.
The thing about them like removing the accounts and moving to
Oh no,
simply
it's not.
character selection. No,
No, they
Bargo's
haven't
point.
removed accounts at all.
Yeah, and I don't know. What I'm saying is Bargo's idea of them moving away from one account having 3 characters and moving to just having characters
On the launcher,
sounds
and
like
that's, yeah.
sounds like a hell of a
No.
technical problem, and B, something that CCP will fuck up at least 4 times trying to implement it, if that's what they're going for.
I think it's more.
I don't think
I
that's
think
what
it's
they're
more
going
likely.
for, but yeah.
I think it's more likely that what they're doing, because you can set up login groups still, right? I think it's more likely that what they're looking at doing is basically being able to go, okay, so you want to log in all your minors? Here you go. Click the button, and those specific characters get loaded on those across those accounts.
That's fine. Getting rid of the character to account link system is funky and something that CCP would need to go very, very slowly.
I don't think they're anywhere near doing
sure
that.
I'm just saying.
We know how CCP go
the
when
launcher. The launcher would be laying the groundwork for it, right? If they then wanted to.
We know how CCP do when they need to go very, very slowly and very, very carefully with things.
Right.
Let's not put ideas in their heads.
You can definitely have it go to character selection. That's in settings. The game client. At the game client settings tab right now on the beta launcher has the following settings available: select DirectX version and always go to character select checkbox. That's it. So it's not like it's hidden. You get to game client, it's right there. It's easy to see.
Again, I'm going back to Twitch chat real quick, but we do have a comment from Omri. I'll accept login groups for my PI drones, but it's not a problem I want them investing time into. And then they followed that up with, can I get them to invest the time into PI quality of life? I mean, this is a fair question, right? If this is what this is what the Eve programmers are working on,
I've always probably very different teams.
I mean, I don't know about like what people want in terms of quality of life from PI, but I've always thought that PI would have been a better thing to basically, delineate down to like a sort of a phone, like a smartphone kind of game.
Like this is the thing, right? They had a smartphone app.
Nope,
like if you could do your PI from the smartphone app, that would be like fantastic. but
I'm gonna
that's a bit
I'm
complex.
I'm gonna do the stupid thing that on at least one Discord server I am forbidden from doing there. I'm going to give CCP a terrible
At
idea.
least one
Oh,
Discord.
don't worry.
server.
They've got
No.
an entire...
This is an even more terrible idea, Mac.
I mean, I've seen a lot of terrible ideas on the thread named
Here's how
Terrible
they
Ideas
need to redo
thread.
PI.
Oh
Okay?
no.
They need to redo PI in a really simple way.
Oh,
Every
no.
planet is its own Eve-themed Minecraft server. Go.
Oh no.
So, as much
they
as
are
we're going to shit on that,
already-
that would be better than what it currently is, wouldn't it?
I just want to point out that,
I mean, low bar, yeah, but you know.
this is not impossible to happen because they are already partnering with Microsoft.
No.
Right!
Oh god, Horrendous got Sothrasil involved, and Sothrasil is known for his insane ideas.
And he has the ear of certain
I
CCP devs as well.
just think how much easier it would be for people to have their kids doing their PI if it was just playing Minecraft.
Oh god.
That's true.
But you're trying to put okay.
Wish
Horrendous-
wouldn't have
Horrendous-
his
seriously,
line
I need to-
anymore.
I need to ask you something. With the state of things with leaks and stuff, do you really want Minecraft servers on an Eve product?
I mean, they can't function less well than the
As
main
long as
Eve
there's
server,
still as long as there's still actually Minecraft servers, this should be fine.
You're trying to make Eve into Istanbul in the 30s or something.
Oh my god, that's a reference.
Not exactly. I'm more just
Kind of
saying,
oblique.
I'm more just saying, hey, listen, Hilmar, if you want to make other games within the Eve setting, there are better ways to do it than partnering up with, a bunch of guys who are most famous for their Ponzi schemes.
Well, I like this idea of substituting crypto bros for actual real-life intelligence agencies. I think that's a good idea, and I think we should definitely go with that.
Oh god.
No,
Slap him-
War Thunder
Slap
has
him
a
roughly about the face.
Look,
War Thunder has a
the
face
show
for
has
that,
just
given
walked
recent
into
events.
the show has just walked into a minefield, and can we swiftly extract,
Look,
please?
Caleb, here's the problem with trying to involve real-life intelligence agencies, okay? They've already tried to, get their hooks into people through MMOs once. They could do it successfully in World of Warcraft. They could do it successfully in EverQuest. They could do it successfully in a whole bunch of MMOs. They didn't get anywhere in Eve. We have not gotten less paranoid in Eve.
And this is true. Like,
Yeah.
that there is actually a comment from Reaver over the last couple of days, which is like, as it turns out, OPSEC at the DoD is less than OPSEC in Eve.
This has always been the case. This has always been the
This
case.
is not news. I mean, for crying
And
out loud.
this is a fact when both Horrendous and I say it at the same time.
It's just the fact of like, hey, here we are. We've always been this fucking paranoid. You fuckers just needed time to catch up.
Let's keep in mind, Glenn Beck thought we were the CIA for a reason.
I remember that. I remember they.
Stupid reason. It was a stupid reason.
Not
But
that,
it was a
not that
reason.
Glenn Beck pays attention to me, but I consistently troll him about that.
But again, I could argue that if we put something like Minecraft servers in Eve, and if we get some sort of encryption end-to-end with the server, we would definitely be the location of choice for any dead drops or leaks or anything like that.
No, you don't put Minecraft servers in Eve.
You suggested it.
You put Eve in.
on Minecraft servers.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because if you put Minecraft servers in Eve, then you've got CCP overseeing Minecraft servers, and that would just never work.
That won't work.
But if you put Eve in Minecraft servers, you get the competent Microsoft dev teams.
Which
I'm not sure I'd
Death
go that far.
I mean,
That was the
did you
point
just
in
say
what
about-
was
Well,
going
maybe
on.
maybe you
talking
get
about the same
paranoid
Microsoft
Microsoft
here.
dev teams.
Well, what you would get is you'll get Toffee Franz picking up his ears.
That is true.
Hey, that would bring back Torfy. That's now I see some potential in this. I'm supporting
That's
this
how you
idea
get
now.
Caleb on board.
Yeah.
Now I see what you guys were trying to do.
Dear
It makes
Lord.
complete sense. Save EVE Online by bringing Torfy Friends back through a Minecraft collaboration. You guys have plans that are just 4D chess. You must be some Elon Musk personality.
We are insane, but in a good way.
Hey man. I will just point out that, I knew the Matani, so
God, is that the thing we're
in
doing
my
now?
book,
I
in my-
knew the Mitani.
In my book, that
Fuck's
trumps
sake.
knowing Musk. So
well,
I'm good.
okay, I admit, Dirk, it's not entirely situationally appropriate. I am not currently being tackled on a hostile Fortizar that I've jumped my fucking jump freighter to, but
Well, I'm just saying,
That would be that you're friends with the Matani.
I knew the Matani. Yeah, that's not. That's like, are we doing that now? Jesus fuck.
no, I just figured I'd throw in one more beam.
You made the meme by trying to do that.
I love how today we're hitting all the classics, fucking Boot.I and I, like all the things.
We haven't talked about aluminum mobsters yet.
Oh well, I did mention in our staff only channel about Russians pursuing legal actions against CCP. That was private to us.
No. That's because we don't recognize whatever the fuck aluminum is when you're saying it.
Uh-oh, you're triggering Arendis to explain to you how that whole development happened. He just did it with the
Not again.
No.
Is he talking about aluminium?
Don't you understand, Mac? It's actually triggered Caleb to get defensive about it.
I was not being defensive. I'm just asking a little bit about
and Soth a little bit.
Well, I would like to know, is there a direct correlation between the death rates of Russian oligarchs and the economics of EVE Online? That's all I'm asking.
No, but there is a correlation between the death rates of Russian oligarchs and the number of first-floor windows they've walked past.
I'm going to say that yes, there is a direct correlation between the death rate of Russian oligarchs and economics in EVE Online.
Let's just say don't do a study. Do not do a study.
What correlation are you suggesting exists?
Both of them seem to be going down a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's correlation. It's not causation.
No, we didn't claim that at all.
I mean, we
I
all
had
know
a comment
correlation does not
that
equal
goes with that,
causation.
but I just decided not to say it. Just not gonna say it.
I just think it's unfair that Dirk is referring to a term without actually using the word.
Unfair.
Well, you have to educate the next generation. I'm pretty sure that the majority do not actually know the word.
Since when was this a fair show, Caleb?
Wow.
Life isn't fair. We need
Life
to
isn't fair.
let people realize this. Like, if anything, Eve has been a really good method of basically getting people to understand that life isn't fair.
That said, I do think Caleb has a very fair point in that there is a word for people being ejected out of a window in English, and it's a very good word that you should use whenever possible.
Yeah, it's one of those that was removed from Arendis' point system because it was overused.
I do want to point out as well that the fact that this word even needed to exist kind of tells you something about the number of people who may have been rapidly ejected out of windows.
Oh, is this the word that I heard Backlom and really loved?
The word is defenestration.
Yep.
What are you talking about with removed from Arendis' point system?
Because
It
you
is the verb
you don't
for
get any
throws something out
point
a
for
window.
that one when it comes to rare words. I'm pretty sure you've removed it from the system.
I'm pretty sure that it's a noun.
It's a verb.
Defenestration is a noun. To defenestrate is a verb.
There we go.
Thank you to the German grammar Nazi.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
And we completely ignored the fact that that he correctly declinated bonus earlier in the chat, but I would like to give him points for that.
I love it when he says bone-eye.
That's correct.
I mean, my English brain goes it's bonuses, but I'm I'm totally fine for bone-eye.
If you go there, bonuser, okay?
Wait, what Nissa? There's no Nissa around
No,
here.
bonuser.
Yes,
Word for nut, and multiple nuts is nüsse.
yeah, there's no Nissa around here.
Not an I, an U umlaut, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't care. There's no Nissa around here.
Oh no, Dirk. We have to be careful here. The Germanics are getting into umlauts. Next thing you know, they'll be moving military through Poland. Oh wait, shit!
We are.
This time they invited it.
Just wait till they go in the other direction and Belgium's involved.
Only if they promise to bring back the chocolate.
It's not like Belgium's ever stopped them before.
Fake.
Victorious Zotby has actually given us the definition of defenestration in Twitch chat as well.
Has a veneer history.
There's a general semblance of sanity going on right now.
That's weird.
Well, some traditions need to return, right? It's just
No. I have to give Brisk points as well for his comment in Twitch chat, which is that defenestration is throwing bitches out a window.
Oh god.
Fact. Very factual, Brisk. Thank you.
You know, one of the to take this conversation entirely in a completely different direction. Since talking about the whole fucking Rifter USB hub, I've actually been looking for EVE Online ship models like to purchase and stuff, and there's like fucking none.
They discontinued their partnership with the 3D printing company that they were using
really
for a while.
don't get that. Why did they discontinue that?
Probably because it wasn't getting a huge amount of business, because it was overpriced as fuck.
Wow, true,
Mhm.
Yes.
That's
They were expensive. Because they were metal. And, well, that's
no,
nice.
they weren't.
Yeah, they were.
No,
they
the reason
were
they were
3D
overpriced.
printed.
Yes, they were metal 3D printed, Dirk. They weren't plastic.
Yeah, but the reason they were overpriced as fuck is because they're a niche product, and so they never really got any benefits from the kind of scale economies that.
Yeah. See, Brisk is reminding us in the Twitch chat that these things were just plastic filament. They were
I
not.
was under the impression they were metal.
Brisk has bought multiple of them, and
No,
they were just plastic.
I did find that particular site or that particular notification and stuff, and the fact that they linked it to a particular site, and that site doesn't do 3D printed models anymore, and as Brisk has said, they've discontinued and they've shifted to 3D printing, or from 3D printing to NFTs, which is just fucking bonkers.
Eve or the people who are doing the 3D printing?
The people who are doing the 3D printing.
Who were doing.
Well,
Yes.
so that makes perfect sense then for one of CCP's partner programs.
But like this is.
I know, Brisk. It does make me sad as well. It's like, really, fucking NFTs.
You see,
Fuck's
I was
sake.
going to say, if they were metal 3D prints, fine,
They might have been
that justifies
the
cost.
price. Yeah, but yeah, like $180 for a plastic 8-inch Macarial or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
CCP is. Here's the thing, though. CCP has never been good at the merch thing.
No.
It's actually probably why it's a great thing that they have partnered with Rick's Javix for and let Rick's run his own merch store with Eve assets, because Rick's is at least going to produce quality products at a semi-reasonable price. Whereas, like, I keep coming back to this, but in an editorial meeting that Arendis was part of as well, that we had fucking 5 years ago, we took a look at some of the actual, like, Eve merch store things, and there was a watch. The watch itself on the Eve store would, and I'm in the UK just for clarity, but the watch itself on the Eve store would cost you something like £200, something like that. It was a mechanical watch made in Iceland.
Okay.
To ship it to the UK, it would have to go through a New York distribution center.
Yep.
Oh, fuck.
And then come back to the UK via Germany.
I was half expecting you to say the Maldives or like fucking, I don't know,
Through New Zealand.
New Zealand or yeah.
So this watch, which was kind of cool, and they do still give them out as prizes and stuff, but it would be shipped through 2 continents and 3 countries before it actually went from Iceland to Britain.
Yep.
For the grand old cost of like 60 quid in shipping. Like a third of the cost of the item would be added in shipping because of that, because that was the way that CCP did their fucking merchandising.
It is the way.
Like, who the fuck?
Yeah,
is
this is the way to not sell fucking watches.
I mean, seriously, they had so many. They've had so many options to do good merch at reasonable prices with reasonable supply chains, and they've always said, "You know what? No, we're going to do it the hard way."
I have never
And there's a reason why they've never really done well with the merch.
I've never really understood that, right?
The big problem with these.
I do think it's quite nice that we're going full circle back around to CCP merch, like that we started off basically with on the show.
I don't know if you guys
they've never
know.
really done well with the merch, and now they're fucking the merch.
It's really very relevant to what we talked about last week and the week before when we talked about the failures of CCP's other game products. It's not the product that's wrong, it's just the seller.
Yeah, right? Like, it's a great product, it's a great thing that we all enjoy, but my god, do they not know how to deal with it?
I would also just like to point out that, this has been a bonus Dirk rant.
Bonus. Buy one. It's a BOGO. Buy one, get one free, baby. Nobody really bought his rant.
No, see,
you got
that's
a free. It's a free.
That's not a BOGO, that's a bog off.
I understand.
Oh, damn. So, me looking
Can I
at
get
all
a
these...
vote to go?
Bow to go.
Me looking at all these
Debocho?
damn 3D print
Debocho.
things, right? Reminded me of Kasaki.
Do you know, even though I linked Boat's little
Saka?
fundraiser for his inner city kids, nobody donated. It made me sad.
Kasaki. The Chinese guys that were doing the models for years.
I mean, those are the ones that I were thinking of initially.
Yeah. I didn't realise it, but they'd actually put out some STLs that they'd broken down of the models for people to be able to print.
Oh, nice.
They've got a Stratos one. I'm tempted to shove it through my resin printer.
By the way, Lyriuk has he'd buy Monopoly
Hello.
Eve Edition. I would buy Monopoly Eve Edition as well. And I'm sitting here thinking the number of people that might buy the Monopoly Eve Edition. They have so many like obscure editions, right? You can't have that high of a requirement to make an.
It would be the most tongue-in-cheek thing ever. That product would be so genius for obvious reasons.
We should design it, and we should reveal our Eve Monopoly board in 2 weeks.
The train stations are the train stations are obviously the old major market hubs. You've got Jita, you've got Amar, you've got Dodixie, and you've we could argue about Ren's or Heck, but I think it'd be.
We're just gonna decide. We're just gonna decide and reveal it. We need somebody who could do some graphics and show it, right? You know,
fucking paint. We can do that.
When you go to jail, you're probably going to Hilmar's office. Do not pass go.
Oh my god!
No, you're getting banned.
Getting banned.
You're getting
temporary ban.
When you go to jail, you're going to like the ass end of nowhere, which is like
go to the
Cobalt Edge.
Go to Omist.
Do not return.
go to Omist.
Whereas Caleb always goes to Horny Jail.
That's where I live.
So I
you're
gotta ask
doxing
now,
me, mate.
But how much in filaments for Macarial?
Wait, what?
Nobody knows
if you're 3D printing, like
he wants a
how much in
Macarial.
filaments for Macarial?
So it depends. Like the Macarial, I've tried doing a Macarial before off of an STL, and even in resin, all the antenna and shit warp like hell.
Antennae, but fair enough.
Antennae, yeah.
Antennases. It's antennases. Jesus Christ, guys.
let me chuck one in a slice.
Antennases?
Antennases? Where the fuck did you get that one?
I'm just making shit up as I go.
Oh my god.
Alright, so
nobody knows. Switch time out.
Yeah.
Be careful about those antennas.
Well, you print the antennae, separately and stick them on, or
you should stick to antennases. They're great. It's great.
Antennases just sounds like something like anti-tennis or something like that.
You string the net between the two
ball.
antennases to play tennis.
Sounds vaguely sports ball.
Who else liked that movie Moneyball?
It's great. That's actually a really fucking great film. Not because of the sports aspect. Like the sport, the sport can just kind of go fuck itself.
Oh, I fucking hate baseball. But go ahead, yeah.
The thing about that film is that baseball, the way they do things for baseball and the way they actually acquire staff for baseball gives them a lot of variables that can then go into an equation and stuff. And Moneyball is like a super great film for nerds.
Well, and it's also the best representation of Arendis' spirit animal. That's literally what he does to games, as far as I know.
Not most of them.
Well, you do it in Eve at least, right?
Do what?
Crunch the numbers and break the entire mold.
Not really.
You've literally explained to me how to break Dungeons and Dragons rule system by being able to farm dragons at low level.
Sure.
Oh, you said Dungeons and Dragons. We went and saw that last week. My wife,
how was that?
No spoilers.
By the way, not going to spoil anything. My wife, who has never played D&D that I recall, She doesn't even know what a 20-sided die is. Okay.
You, sir,
Enjoyed
have
the
failed
movie.
your nerdery.
She enjoyed the movie. I think it's mainly because she was looking at Chris Pine's ass all the time, but she enjoyed the movie. Yeah, I mean he's a little bit better looking than Harry, but no, she enjoyed the movie for enjoying the movie. I mean, she said that she's like, I'm not like a D&D person at all or anything, but I love the movie. Good. So
good.
I'm giving it a thumbs up. I enjoyed it. I would see it again. So there you go.
Nice.
Right. All right. I don't know if I dare to say this, given the time that we're at.
Oh, dare!
But I think I do.
Do it.
Our friend who got basically told to go fuck yourself with the collector's edition.
Oh,
apparently he's heard, and this is not directly confirmed by CCP, but apparently he's heard that CCP lost the databases with what the redeemed codes are, and
it's called a fucking backup. Okay, it's called a fucking backup.
I mean, to be fair, I can understand a little bit like that because I did like make a Windows installation media out of a 2 terabyte hard drive accidentally. So I understand that sometimes stuff like that can happen.
You were so mad.
Hang on.
You got
Still
so
am.
mad about that.
Hang on. CCP lost the databases, but 3 days earlier was able to help somebody out with that and get them that shit? That sounds more like CCP chose to delete those databases.
No, they made an exception, as in they just trusted him that the code is valid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Realized
they didn't have the database when we'll honor it in this case, regardless of if the code is legit or not.
It's just it's like, what else aren't they backing up? I mean, this is like, I have an internet company.
Well, standard practices, I think, is probably one that we can definitely say is something that they don't back up and routinely trash or throw to the trash.
It's code management 101. Have a backup always.
Okay, I got a little rinky-dinky company. We have a fucking corporate backup policy.
You do?
We have a little rinky-dinky company. But we have a backup policy, and we back shit up, and we version every document we have.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ, CCP.
It's not hard. It just takes effort.
You may find that there is a phrase known as the 3-2-1 rule when it comes to backups. You should probably get on that, CCP.
Oh my god!
Oh dear lord! I'm being called a Norfolk lad in Twitch chat.
Norfolk? Yeah. You're not in Norfolk, so you're not born in Norfolk and you don't live in Norfolk, so that's kind of interesting.
We're declinating farmers.
I cringed a bit on that front. I'm not gonna lie, I did cringe a bit reading that.
Norfolk doesn't sound posh enough for Dirk.
But yeah, Agricolarum is pretty. It's pretty standard. It's not that hard.
The closest Dirk can be in terms of Norfolk lad is potentially having lived in a villa, like a Roman villa at some point, maybe.
Look, people keep calling me by my nickname, but I don't think you guys realize that we have a nickname for Dirk as well, and it's Posh Spice. So there you go.
Nice.
I actually have not been called that in a while. I'd forgotten that was a thing that you guys did.
I don't know, Eric. I've got another name that I call South, especially on fleets.
Yeah, I do too, but it's not fit for Twitch chat.
I don't think endearment terms apply here. That's just.
Well, the name is fit for Twitch chat. The story behind it is definitely not.
Yeah, no, you go on a fleet with Soth when he runs one, right? and you wait until something's going on, and then you just bust out with, "Hey, Apple."
Yeah,
It's always
you
fun.
might suddenly explode if you do that, and you're not horrendous. Just saying.
Well,
does
to be
Apple
fair,
Pay
and
respond in the same way if you call him soft?
Yes.
well,
Yes.
What's
Well,
even
there's
funny?
also
What's
some-
the,
there's
what's even
also some
funnier is when you have them
pranksters-
both in the same command comms, and you start referring to them by one another's names.
Yeah, it's the same thing if you call me Dutch or Apple German. Same reaction. You explode.
It's great.
well, but it's a language barrier thing. How are you supposed to tell angry Germans apart? They all sound the same.
I mean, granted, we are both Frisian. Just very different parts of Frisia.
Well, you're both angry spice to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Apple was never angry until, like, he started actually doing, like, director shit. Then he
So it's
quickly
your
got
fault.
very angry. No, I didn't. I definitely did not make him a director. I did not. I have nothing to do with that department.
Uh-huh.
Fantastic.
To be fair, I don't know many people.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know. It's been like last 15 minutes. Most of us have been waiting for you to start the one last thing.
Like the one last thing rainbow or something. Graphic.
I'm now your producer, is what you're saying?
Push to shove? What?
Okay, so I a couple points. Apparently Eric's been muted for a little while. And the second thing is that I
Great.
need to
That's
I need
awesome.
to disappear.
By the way, I said
another
Soft's
thing.
Well, then
in
do your one
charge.
last thing, because that's what Eric's been long-windedly
Yeah.
muted
My one
about.
last thing
Yeah,
is Soft's in
I-
charge. Whatever he wants for the new design, he gets. He just needs to tell me what he wants and make other people do it. He's chief design engineer for the show.
Right.
Eric,
Shut up, Dirk.
Eric, the part you
Shut up.
talked over
No.
was Dirk saying he had to go.
I don't care.
Soth is not
Go.
in charge.
Go, Dirk.
We will beat Soth if anybody suggests he's in charge, because Soth should never be told he's in charge of anything. He gets crazy when you do that.
He's allowed to be crazy.
But also, I hope you enjoy my rants today, and like, I'm gonna disappear now. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you later.
See you, Dirk.
Meta show in like 54 minutes or something.
Yeah, something
Later.
like that. Yeah. By the way, I don't give a shit what Dirk says. Soft's in charge. Fuck him. That's my one last thing. Okay. Horrendous. Your one last thing.
Was that Dirk had to go.
Okay, that's good. All right. August, you still here?
Yeah, I am just looking through these Kasaki models. They are epic. Mm-hmm. I want the STLs that they've got, because they've broken them down into segments to print better and paint better.
There you go. Oh, Saki. Like it.
Fucking cool.
All right, Caleb.
Oh yeah, I have a personal one. If Brisk is actually still listening, you
You
have
don't
to
care
go.
if he is still listening or not. I mean,
If
But
Brisk is
Caleb
still
does.
watching, he has to go and watch 1883. That's literally a dramatization of a Ken Burns documentary. It is the most amazing TV I've ever seen.
You're talking about Yellowstone, 1883?
1883, the spin-off, the prequel for Yellowstone.
Yes,
That
that's what
is
he's talking
so
about.
good. It felt like
So were you checking out Faith Hill? And that's why you liked it.
yeah, but it's just the whole feeling with the way it does the narrative, and it felt like a complete dramatization of Ken Burns' The West. It's like it was so good. This is like the Oregon Trail and all the horrors and all of that stuff.
Caleb's
was
only
so
saying
good.
that for all the sex that was in it. That's all he watched.
No. I go for proper HBO shows if I want the sex stuff. You don't get to see that
They have-
much in
They have
in
sex on
Yellowstone.
HBO. I don't even know how much HBO. All right, Soth, since you're in charge, Chief, you and McLeod,
Soth.
you have to share that title with McLeod.
I have been notified that Elise now goes by Taylor Swift. So Swifty, if you want me to refer to you by different pronouns, then just let me know, right? Otherwise, if you ask me, there are only male members in the community team right now.
It's not
Oh,
Swifty, Soth. It's Tay
Oh,
Tay.
it's
No, I think that means that at this point, Elise has declared that the problem is them. Just saying.
I'm just going to point out Taylor Swift is probably one of the most beautiful women around, but she's scary. She's scary. Stay away from her. All right.
Why is she scary?
Because she'll date you for a while, then she'll write a mean song about you. We don't need any mean songs written about you, right? So stay away from her.
yeah, but that means I'm getting a song.
You're getting a song.
I mean, that's a win-win for me.
It's not going to be.
What are you saying?
It's not
You're
going to be
immortalized forever as an asshole.
It's not going to be Sothrasil the horse. It's going to be Sothrasil the chipmunk. Okay, that's the song she's going to write about you. Okay, you want a woman who's going to write a song.
Alvin and the Sothrasills.
I'm just going to point out that we already have a song
Alvin,
written
Simon,
for Soth. Soth
Sothrasil.
already got his song from Little Nas.
I like Boat's song. It's good. But okay, McLeod, your one last thing.
I mean, one last thing. I mean, I'm just gonna basically cheat and basically say that my one last thing from last week, which is apparently there wasn't a Starship launch this week that went, but there definitely is one this Monday.
Oh, it's up my eye.
Because they've got the licenses and everything.
Got the licenses
Put up.
They
got the licenses. People have put up streaming notifications and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
it seems like it's happening on Monday.
Notification out and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that should
You don't
be
want
fun.
that rocket running into a plane as it's going up or anything.
I mean, for all we know, the thing could just fucking explode on the pad. So
it's really odd.
It should be a fun time regardless.
All we know, it will explode.
Well,
oh yeah.
I'm just pointing out that on the way up, between rockets and planes, the plane has the right of way. On the way down, the rocket has the right of way. That out there. Sounds odd, doesn't
it? Is that your one last thing?
It is.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, hey, on this April 15th, thank you for the resub. Volta whatever. 70 months. Thank you very much. It's amazing. Thank you, everybody. April 15th, Push to Talk 2023. We had a blast today, and we will see you next week. But we are getting into the summer, so we're going to have to be, talking what's going on these. So we'll let you know. All right, everybody. We'll be back next week.